Hey, happy day, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Time, in my fuzzy, cozy, super duper world. Um, are you on top of the world? On top of the world, I love this expression. It has been around since the early 1900s. Lots of different writers have used it, so it's not really accredited to anyone. To describe when we're feeling really, really good or delighted about something or everything in our life, when we feel like everything in our life is going pretty well, our relationships, our job, our career, our growing our business, our finances, all the different aspects of our life, when most of them are clicking and we feel like they're going our way, we often say that we are feeling on top of the world, feeling up or high or on air, walking on air, are all excuse expressions that mean delight or joy in what's going on in our lives or in some aspect of our lives. We might be on top of the world in our relationships, but maybe we're struggling in another area, but we can still let the emotions and the feelings of that one area carry over to the other areas of our life and raise everything up. Kind of like putting helium in a balloon and just letting it fly up. To lighten us, to lighten our load in areas where we might be having a little bit more challenges. The expressions being down or being downhearted, being downtrodden, being down in the dumps, all of these type of expressions, and being down has always meant being sad or depressed or unhappy with something that's going on in our businesses or in our lives. But being on top of the world means everything's going well for us. Now, the trick about anything, any feelings, is we get to choose how to define them. We get to choose what makes us happy, what makes us feel excited about what's going on in our life, what makes us feel happy and delighted and excited and on top of the world with what's going on in our business as we're growing our business. We can set ourselves up for success in that area and more success so we can achieve our end goal faster by, number one, focusing on the little wins, focusing on the stepping stones that are leading us to that big goal, that big objective, by breaking things down and making and allowing ourselves to have little wins along the way, or little losses. The little losses aren't so damaging if they're little losses, if it isn't an all or nothing, an absolute definition of something. So if we define success for our business as, I have to be making $1 billion by this date, and I have to have all these other things fall in place, my life, my business, my relationships, my finances, what I physically have material in my life. If I define success as all these really, really hard to reach things, and I'm not successful until I reach that end point only, then we're kind of setting ourselves up for failure. And we're making it really hard to feel like we're on top of the world, to feel like we're successful. But if we break that down, that big thing down into little pieces, little wins, little adventures along the way, we get to experience and feel what being successful and winning is like along the way. And once we get some little wins, it's easy for those to snowball into the big wins. And before we know it, we have achieved that great goal. We have created the business and the impact that we want to create in the world. The other thing about being on top of the world is choosing to be grateful and thankful for what is going on in your business and your life right now. If we're grateful for what is, it eliminates the frustration of thinking things should be different than they are. Now, we can be grateful for what is and still be focusing on moving us toward our big goal, our big dream for building and growing and supersizing our business. They're not mutually exclusive, but it's a lot more fun to have those little wins. It feels a lot better to be moving towards something, be grateful for and thankful for all of the great resources that show up in our life, all of the things that do work out well for our businesses, all of the people and things that come together to make almost the impossible happen in order to achieve the goals and objectives that we have set for our business. So being grateful, defining what success and being on top of the world is for us increases our happiness. And guess what? Happy people create and build amazing businesses a lot faster and easier than people that are miserable or focusing on the negative. Now, the other way to look at this expression, being on top of the world, is to think with respect to being in your industry and what you're contributing to the world and competition. And it's not that hard to Be on top of your industry, on top of the world, on top of your game. Now, I can already hear the yelling and the saying, oh, you're full of it. There's 20,000 other coaches. There's 10,000 accountants. There's, millions of restaurants. How can I be on top of the world? Well, here again, you get to define the world. You get to define your market. Who are you here to serve? And what problems and solutions are you offering to them? Or what solutions are you offering to them about their problems and their challenges? What are you giving to the people that you're here to serve? If you're trying to serve the whole world, it is a bigger challenge than if you're breaking down and really being specific about who am I here to serve? Who are we here to help? Whose lives and businesses do we want to make a difference on? And if you're focusing on those people, if you're giving them incredible value, if you're giving them great experiences, you are on top of your world. You're on top of the industry that you want to be on top of. It might be a little convoluted, not meaning to be convoluted today, but definitely have a head cold and some stuffiness going on. So, how can you be on top of the world? How can you lead your industry? How can you serve? Just ask questions about how you can serve the people that you are here to serve. How can you give them more value? How can you give them a better experience? If you're asking yourself those questions every day, and doing a little something every day to answer them and act toward fulfilling them, before you know it, you will be on top of the world. You will be leading your industry. You will be setting the example for the rest of the world. And that's a great way to make the world a better place, by being an example. That's it. Have an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. If you have a story about being on top of the world, or how this expression has impacted you or someone you know, share in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.